Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome back if this is your first time. My name is Oyinda, and today I'm going to talk about the books I want to read in March. So I've decided to actually reduce the number of books I plan to read because sometimes I find that I want to mood read, or I have a video idea and I just want to read some other books. I'm actually going to try and give space for other books. Anyway, so these are the 6 books I want to read this month because I typically read a bit more, but still the 6. Anyway, so the first book I want to read is in the theme of continuing sequels. The first book I want to read is The Empress. This is by S.J. Kincaid, and so this is the second book in the Diabolic series. And so I read the Diabolic last year, and so the Diabolic, we follow this kind of humanoid creature called Nemesis, and Nemesis protects, basically the Diabolics are humanoid creatures who protect people in power. And so when the emperor calls for one of the people in power, they don't want to send their child, so they decide to send her bodyguard, who is Nemesis. And so Nemesis basically has to go and pretend that she's the one. And then we basically find out that there's rebellion, the empire is fracturing, and she basically has to find her place and discover her humanity. It was really good. It was really intriguing, very fast-paced, and it was dark, but not being too dark. I don't know how to describe it, but it was really fast-paced. It was really engaging. I really liked Nemesis and following her story and her grappling with her humanity. And so I can't wait for book 2, which I've heard from, I just scanned a couple of reviews, supposed to be really dark and brutal, and I can't wait. Then the next sequel I want to read is Chaos Vector. So I also read Velocity Weapon. This is the second book. Chaos Vector is the second book in the Protectorate trilogy. Yes. And so I read Velocity Weapon, which is the first book last year. And so in Velocity Weapon, we follow these 2 siblings. One who is a kind of like a soldier, Sanda, who's a soldier in the army, sort of. And then her brother is like a politician. But then when they're doing a routine maneuver, and then so basically Sanda loses consciousness, and then by the time she wakes up, apparently it's 230 years on a deserted enemy ship with an AI, and apparently the war is lost, and because her planet was kind of in battle with another planet, the 2 planets have wiped each other out, and now the 2 siblings are separated by time and space, and they have to make things up. This book was like the twist, like when we got to the middle, it just ran straight, and I really liked Sanda. I liked their relationship, Sanda and Biran's relationship with the 2 siblings. Again, was also engaging. It was pretty fast paced, and it was, I'd call it beginner level sci-fi, where you don't need too much, it's not too confusing. I think the sci-fi concepts are easy to grasp, and I'm looking forward to this one because they have this system where they use these gates to travel to distant planets, and they were little drops of how the system came about, but I think we'll discover more of how the gates were actually, there's a mystery behind how the gates actually came to be, and I'm looking forward to that. Then the next book I want to read is The Justice of Kings. This is the 3rd book, came out this year, first of all, so I'm excited for that. And so we follow this justice who, they basically act as judge, jury, executioner, and then they go across the kingdom, dispensing justice and whatever. And then so there's the murder of an aristocrat, and basically they begin to unearth a conspiracy. And I think I've heard this book is written, so not by the justice himself, but his kind of assistant. Anyway, it seems really intriguing, and I've heard that there are some horror-ish elements, so that's pretty exciting for me. The next book I want to read is The Last Cuentista. This is a sci-fi standalone, middle grade standalone, and so we follow this girl who so I think it's kind of the end of the world, but then they save a couple of people, and then they put them on this spaceship. But then when she wakes up, she finds out she's the only one who has any memories of what has happened on Earth, and they've tried to just basically erase Earth. And so basically it's focused on history and why it's important, and memories, and this, I guess it's this idea that if you don't know our history, we're doomed to repeat it, sort of thing. So yeah, it seemed really intriguing and interesting. So yeah, I've said interesting so many times in this video. Then the next book I want to read is Disorientation. This is by, I will put it because I don't want to pronounce it and say it wrong, but we follow this young woman who's a PhD student, and so I think while she's doing her research, she uncovers something, and then this explosive discovery, and it just leads her across a lot of things. And I know this is this is coming of age, and also this idea of whose stories, who should tell what stories, and yeah, and just like America and privilege and all that. It seems really interesting. Apparently it tackles the same thing, some of the themes Babel by R.F. Kuang also explores. And so yeah, I've read too much sci-fi and fantasy. I need, you know, a little literary fiction to break things up. So yeah. And then the last book I want to read is, so I don't know if you've watched this channel before. I said I wanted to start reading classics again. I was supposed to read Frankenstein last month in my reading wrap up. Just a little spoiler, I did not read it. But so I decided that I should actually probably start with classics I've already read. And so I mean, I read simplified versions of them, but still I have an idea of the plot beats. And I remember I really liking Treasure Island, you know, pirates, and I mean pirates, adventure, what's not to love. So I decided to start with a classic that I feel maybe is less intimidating. I don't know why Frankenstein is just kind of hard for me to pick up. So I'm reading Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. All I remember is that they are yes, they are pirates and there's adventure. Also, and I think I also watched a remake called Treasure Planet. It's a pretty like, is it underrated or very underhyped animation movie. I think was it by Disney? Anyway, if you watch it and you watch Treasure Planet, please let me know, because sometimes I feel like nobody else has ever watched it. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that as well. And yeah, so these are all the books I want to read this month. I'll probably read more, and I do have a video idea coming up in my head very soon. But yeah, so let me know how your reading has been going. Let me know what books you plan to read this month. Have you read any of the books that I've read? Let me know, and then please, you know, like, subscribe if you like. Anyway, see you next time. Okay, bye.